Well, hello there. The purpose of this video is to set you up for success for a DIY version of the fasting mimicking diet, which we call the 5-day reset. Being in a fasting state means that we are no longer burning glucose for energy, which is the body's preferred source of energy, and then we start burning fat for energy, or rather ketones. Do drink carbonated water with no sugars added. So there are plenty of sparkling waters on the marketplace right now. Just make sure that you're looking at the ingredients. We're allowed to drink unlimited amounts of water during our fast, but the reason why I like carbonated water in particular is because I feel like it fills up my belly more, and therefore I just feel more like satiated and full. Do modify your workouts if you have to work out. I would recommend just not working out, but if you do have to, just make sure that you are really gentle and easy on yourself. I'm talking like, just go for a walk. Expect that you're gonna have little energy because you have fewer calories coming in, your body's going through a huge detox, a huge cellular cleanse. So a lot is happening inside of our bodies during these experiences. Do change the spices for your dinner soup to change the menu. So I have had questions on, can you just provide like a different soup for dinners? Because I don't want to eat the same soup every night. There is a lot of merit in eating the same thing day after day. This is not just a physical reset. For me, a large part of this, a huge benefit, is the psychological and the mental reset as well. Eating the same food every day, almost the same food every day, minus day one, allows us to more easily stick to the plan for the full 5 days. As soon as we start adding more variety, you're probably gonna wanna eat more, and that is just a crazy tease that I would just rather not deal with during the resets. So a little hack that you can make is stick to the dinner menu. The dinner is a soup or a stir fry, and what you can do is just switch up the spices. That way you're not buying additional groceries to make different food, you're using up what you have. It just simplifies everything. We are allowed to consume up to 1 tablespoon of spices per day. You could also do a splash of soy sauce. I know that's like super high sodium and it's pretty much liquid salt, but there's so much flavor going on in there, and a little goes a long way. But just a note with the spices, there's certain spices or roots that are really powerful and they may take us out of the fasting state. So things like ginger, things like turmeric. There's another seasoning called 21 seasoning. Apparently it's 21 different spices. I don't believe there's any salt added to it. I have mine from Trader Joe's and a lot of people do enjoy this. I think it's all right. It's a little bit spicy, which I do love, but 21 seasoning, people love it. So maybe give that a whirl. Do think of those who are hungry when you reach a point of suffering. So during the reset, you're gonna hit a wall, you're gonna hit, maybe, I'm not making any absolute statements here, but if you are to just hit a wall and think, ooh, I'm gonna break this fast, I can't take this any longer, but you do wanna carry forward, then my recommendation is to just be mindful of those around you who are hungry all the time. So this is something that I had experienced during my first reset. I don't know why I started thinking that way, but that's immediately where my brain went, is I just thought like, what a princess I am for like, oh boo-hoo, I can't eat as many calories as I want for 5 days. Meanwhile, how many people around the world feel hunger every single day? And so that just kind of like hurt me inside, and so that for me helped me just kind of, I guess, suck it up and not be such a princess in that moment. But in the case of just setting you up for success, that's just something that helped me get past some of the hardest moments during any of the resets, and so I hope that tidbit helps you too. Do have a gratitude journal and write in it every single day, whether it's pen to paper, whether it's on your computer, or even if it's just you thinking about what you're grateful for. I would say do this as soon as you wake up. It sets your day up for mad success, and it just changes the tone of the entire day. This is something that I like to regularly do every single day, reset or no reset. And it has elevated my life in so many ways I can't even tell you. I resisted doing this for years because I thought that is the silliest thing I'd ever heard in my life. How can just writing down 3 things that you're grateful for change anything? I'm telling you, it changed everything for me. The interesting thing is when we're caught in a situation where we have a lack of something, it's oftentimes in those moments where we realize how much we do have. Do track your progress on something like a RENFO. So RENFO, R-E-N-P-H-O, is a weight scale. It measures your visceral fat and your subcutaneous fat. So subcutaneous fat is the fat that you see like just under your skin, and visceral fat is the fat that surrounds our organs, typically in our abdominal area. Now, visceral fat is the fat that can increase our chances of developing chronic diseases if that number is high. But the benefit of that is to see our progress day over day. It's just really exciting to see those numbers change over the course of the 5 days. Now, stick around because I am going to talk about day 6 and how to come out of your fast in a very safe and optimal way. Do try this if you want to transition to a plant-based diet. Let's say that you eat like a normal person, and so some people describe that as the standard American diet, which many countries around the world eat, not just Americans. So maybe you've heard of a lot of benefits of eating kind of like more plants or a plant-based diet. Maybe you just kind of want to like dive in and try eating a lot of plants. Then I commend you, and I will tell you that you will never regret it. You can always go back to your old eating ways. There's always an exit, but you will love eating a lot of plants if you've never done this before. So if you want to try and go from a very high fat, high salt, highly processed kind of way of eating, as enjoyable as that is, you are probably feeling like crap, and perhaps that's why you want to make a shift. So this reset experience is a great way to make that transition. And the reason why is because our brain and our taste buds, they are used to a certain thing, right? They're used to mad flavor, very rich foods. After the reset, you'll be so happy that you can eat that's the time when a whole bunch of plants are the most delicious, and you're just the most grateful to have any kind of calories coming into your body. I know you're gonna be thinking like, I wanna hit the McDonald's drive-thru right now, but don't do that yet. Do the trilogy to make the most of this for weight loss and really make a change in your food and how you eat. Dr. Valterlongo, the creator of the fasting mimicking diet, recommends that when we first do this, we should do it 3 times. So once a month over the course of 3 months, and then every year we should do it twice a year. That's just a general statement. Somebody made a comment, thank you very much for that great point. If you do have a long way to go in your weight loss journey, he did say that you could do this up to once a month. Do this with a friend. Or 5. When I first started doing this, the first one that I did, I only did it to support my husband because he was looking into this. After the first round, I never wanted to do it again. But then I had another friend who wanted to do it, so I ended up doing it with her. That was my round 2, 1 month later. And then I had a separate friend who wanted to do it also. So that was, for me, my round 3. In doing it together, we prepped together, we ate almost all of our meals together, even though we are 2,000 miles apart. So we just hopped online and ate our meals together, almost every single one. And then what was the most fun was celebrating once we were done and then eating our refeeding meal together, which I will get to. Now, having said that, I have done this once by myself, and that too was a really enjoyable experience because I think that this is a very kind of a spiritual thing for me. I mentioned my exorcisms, and so nobody else is experiencing those alongside me, so I didn't mind doing it myself and just experimenting. But at that point, I had done it probably 7 times before I did it on my own, so yeah. But for the most part, get a friend. Do take it easy, go slow, wear comfy clothes. Your mood may be down since your energy is so low. So during these resets, just make sure that you're pulling out your most comfortable clothes that you own. If you work from home and you don't really need to go anywhere, you might want to just hang out in your comfiest PJs and, just cozy up with your favorite blankies and all the rest. I love doing that during these. Just make sure that you create some space. So other people that I have been exposed to in terms of fasting experiences or just like cleanses, they talk about creating space for yourself during these experiences. So what they mean by that is, instead of just packing your day with a full day of work or just going about your normal day-to-day stuff, they are recommending that you just build in some time to do things like take a long bath. Or I like to choose a book that I'm actually going to set time and just sit and read. Can you imagine that? To just sit and read. Do plan your refeeding days ahead of time. So this is so important. I have heard Dr. Longo in one video state that the refeeding part is even more important. During the fast, we are going through a deep cellular cleanse, and there's something called autophagy that is happening. So autophagy is when our cells are eating parts of themselves, and what they're eating are the damaged parts of their cell parts. So that is the deep cellular cleanse. Thank you very much. And so in that time, some of our organs are also shrinking because there's no calories to go around. And then once we start refeeding, our organs are going to start regenerating. In that process, we're also generating a lot more stem cells than we normally would. And those stem cells are going to get to work as soon as we start eating again, like normal eating, i.e. day 6. So we're coming out of the fast, and everything we eat, we are powering our cells, those brand new, beautiful stem cells that are ready to go to work wherever in your body needs it the most. This is the perfect example of the whole saying, like, you are what you eat. So everything that we are putting into our bodies, drinking and eating, is powering these cells. It's making us up. And so that's how I think of it. And so do I want to eat just I don't know, the worst, most offensive food on the planet, like hot dogs? Flavor-wise, yeah, but after all that work, no, that's missing the point completely. So just be really mindful of that, but it's got to take planning. So don't not plan for your refeeding day. So my recommendation is you will have some food left over in the DIY menu version, and take all that food, make sure you got rice on hand, brown rice or whole grain like farro or quinoa or barley, or maybe even some potatoes, and you are going to mix all of that up in a big, huge stir fry, and you're going to enjoy that. He says, absolutely no dairy, just don't do it. And stay away from meat, especially on day 6. So at least for one day, he says, just stay away from it all and just continue to eat the plants that you have been eating for the 5 days. If you are going out on day 6 because you've got some outing planned with friends, family, whatever, then maybe eat before you go. So at least you're nourishing yourself with as many whole plants as possible. But take a look at the menu and just have a game plan ready, because if you go there and all you see is cheese, and that's like the number one thing Longo says do not eat on day 6, then you're gonna have an issue, right? So just make sure that you got day 6 planned and that it is tight, and that way your entire reset experience is going to be optimal, and that's what I want for you. So the don'ts. Don't just go slow and steady, especially when you're on a weight loss journey, or even if you have a lot of work to do in your health recovery. The reason why I say that is because sometimes we need a little bit of a sprint. I'm a big believer in the whole slow and steady wins the race, because that whole saying just to me says consistency. That doesn't mean every day and every meal is going to be perfect. That's not realistic, but the slow and steady is consistent. However, once in a while, we do need a little sprint. We need a little bit of a boost. And so I cannot tell you how much I've benefited from these reset experiences. And it's just been good for me physically, emotionally, mentally, psychologically, all the things. And so had I not had these boosts, I've been going slow and steady for 10 years, eating a bunch of plants. Not plant exclusive, but eating a lot more than I ever have in my entire life. And I was kind of just stagnating with my health state. It was with these resets that I saw a lot of change. And so I just feel more powerful, and I know that it is supporting my longevity. Don't eat your face off right before going into this. So the night before, you're gonna want to feed the face. You're going to want to eat all the things. And you gotta remember, just remind yourself, you will eat those things again. I fall prey to this feeling all the time. Every single time I just think, oh my gosh, I wanna eat everything. And so oftentimes I do, and I stuff myself silly. So to the point where I get up on day one morning and I'm so full from the night before that I breeze through day one because I have all this excess calories like just running through my system, I guess. But again, I want to help you optimize your experience. And in order to do that, you're not gonna wake up on day one stuffed silly. So in the rounds that I've gone into it optimally, and I start the day off just feeling normal as opposed to completely stuffed, things just always work better. Don't eat the dinner soup too late. For the dinner on our DIY menu, you can either do a soup or you can do a stir fry. If you do a soup, you just want to be cognizant of not having that soup too late, i.e. like too close to bedtime, because then you're just gonna get up and you're gonna be peeing all night long. So you might be peeing a lot more during the fasting experience. It's part of the detox apparently, but just be mindful of that because we do want to get really good rest on every single night. And if you have sleeping problems, this is a huge benefit. You'll probably sleep like a baby. Don't wait too long in between meals. If I wait way too long during my meal times because I'm trying to stretch out my day as long as possible, if I wait too long to the point where like I start getting a little bit shaky, I don't do well. So if I get to that point and then I consume my next meal, I don't feel as satiated. So I feel like I need way more calories. I don't get to that point. So when you are really hungry, or if you just want to time your meals appropriately, like 7 a.m., you're having your breakfast. And then at around 11:30 or noon, you're gonna have your lunch. At around 3 p.m., you're gonna have your snack. And then 6 or 7, you're going to have your dinner. So if you space it out like that, that is a perfect way to do it, or whatever your schedule is like, over a 12-hour period. Don't get too mad if you're doing this as a woman and you're doing it with your man. Don't get too mad if he ends up losing 10 pounds and you're losing like half of that, okay? Men just are annoying that way sometimes, aren't they? You are your own person, he is his own person. You are doing excellent work, you are seeing results. You're gonna stay strong, you're gonna focus on your own progress, on your own success. Don't beat yourself up if you've done this for years and you're still going up and down in your journey. So going back to a weight loss journey, for example, a lot of people do this for weight loss, and a lot of people with weight loss issues will go very up and down in this journey. Very, very common, right? I too do this. I'm not like super extreme in my weight gain or weight loss, but absolutely it is a roller coaster ride. We have to be really gentle with ourselves and know that every time we do something like this, it's something to be celebrated. We are taking care of ourselves. We are challenging ourselves, and nothing great comes easy. And although this whole fasting mimicking diet experience is really not that hard, on the other hand, it really is hard. It can be hard. There will be hard moments. Your mind will be challenged and your body will feel uncomfortable. But at the end of it, you're going to be so proud of yourself. You are going to unlock power that may have been lying dormant for a long time. And that reminder to yourself is almost more important than the physical benefits that you're going to have. Don't assume just because you do these, even 3 rounds of it, like Longo recommends, that you'll be a new person. It's not just about going through these FMDs or a reset. You've got to focus on the in-between. And in that in-between, you've got to get the food right. I encourage you to really focus on those daily or regular habits, because that's going to get you there so much faster. Don't think that this is not for you and that it'll work for other people, but it won't work for you. If you are a human being, physiologically, it will work for you if you follow the rules. Maybe life has not been very kind to you in the last little while, and you think, this is not going to work for me, even though it's worked for thousands of other people. I want to tell you that if you are a human being and you have certain human systems in your body, which I know you do if you're a human, you have the same organs pretty much, unless you've had some removed. You have a cardiovascular system, you have a digestive system, an immune system. You have all these different systems, and all those systems work in tandem. And when we remove glucose, the same thing happens to you, as does me. We start burning those ketones for energy. We go into a fasting state. We produce more stem cells. We start refeeding again and eating like a normal person. And then those stem cells go to work and start healing us. Don't do this alone. Not only is it going to increase the probability of you finishing this reset, it's also going to be way more fun. And what is life if we're not having fun, right? We all deserve to have fun. This September, if you want to join us and do this together, then you can go into the description, you can sign up for the 5-day reset menu and guide. I will capture your email address and I will ping you in preparation of our fall reset. And so the fall reset is going to be very different because for the first time, I am going to open up the container, as I say, and I'm going to invite people in to do this together. I will take my own advice and do it as a group, as a party, and welcome the new season. We're gonna get together every single day. I will be there to answer any questions that I can answer for you. I will be there to cheer you on and root for you. We can get together and talk about how hungry we are. We can get together and talk about what we're gonna eat on day 6 for refeeding. And I invite you to come along with us.